Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare जय श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, कृष्ण बलराम की जय, श्री राधा श्याम भगवान की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायसमुद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं रघुनरघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपुष्पाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम
हरे राम
राम राम हरे हरे। वन सेकंड। सभी का Today's Srimad Bhagavatam, welcome everybody. So yesterday we have taken much 16 sloka, correct? We have done till 16. So what we have seen, recap, appearance of Narad Muni. Vyasadeva, he sat in meditation at the bank of Saraswati. He took Achaman and then he started to meditate. In the future, so what we yesterday discussed, that the devotees of Krishna, they are always thinking of welfare of other people. That is their job. So similarly, Vyasadeva is an incarnation of Lord and a great sage. He started to think of the future. And what he saw in his meditation is covered in the verses 17 to 20. Very, very important verse. Very, very important. So let's repeat. Bhautikānaṁ ca bhāvānaṁ
Bhautikāchanam bhavanam
Shaktihāsam ca tattvatam
Ihtihasam tattvatam
Asaddhāna nissattvān
Asatthānāni
Tattvatam
Tumedān hasita yushaha
Durmedhan Hitayusha
Durvagān ca janān bhiksha
Durvagancam
Nirdivyena chakshusha
Munirvena Chakta
Sarvavarnāśramāmānaṁ
Sarvavarnāśramāmānaṁ
Dadhyo hitam yadadhyo hitam amogadruk. So somebody can read the translation.
The great sage, who was fully equipped in knowledge, could see through his transcendental vision the deterioration of everything material due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. Thus, he contemplated for the welfare of men in all statuses and orders of life.
The influence of Kali he can see. Faithlessness. Sometimes people come to the spiritual path, but they don't have faith. They say, Bhagwan ko dikhao, Krishna kahan pe hai? Ye path aisa kyun hai? Means already so many troubles are there. Somebody comes, he is faithless. So this is a very, very highly disqualification. Faithlessness is very, very difficult. And what is it that in Chaitanya Sanchayatma Bhagavad Gita. Sanchayatma Vinashyati. And advancement in Bhakti is also at the 3 levels. Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. According to the faith and the Shastric knowledge. So faith is also one of the important factors. Now let's read Prabhupada's purport is very important. So one paragraph we will read one devotee. Okay, whoever number is there, he can read the first paragraph.
The unmanifested forces of time are so powerful that they reduce all matter to oblivion in due course. In Kali Yuga, the last millennium of a round of 4 millenniums, the power of all material objects deteriorates by the influence of time. In this age, the duration of the material body of the people in general is much reduced, and so is the memory. The action of matter has also not so much incentive. The land does not produce food grains in the same proportions as it did in other ages. The cow does not give as much milk as it used to give formerly. The production of vegetables and fruits is less than before. As such, all living beings, both men and animals, do not have sumptuous, nourishing food Due to want of so many necessities of life, naturally the duration of life is reduced. The memory is short, intelligence is meager, mutual dealings are full of hypocrisy, and so on.
Bas. So now we can see what will happen in the Kali Yuga, and we can see how these things are happening in front of us. Today, Har Grace Devi Shakti Mataji gave Bhagavatam class here. So she was telling that in Calcutta, once there was a plague, and people were dying, Hindu, Muslim, all were dying. So one Baba, saintly devotee, he started Harinam Sankirtan. And Hindu, Muslim, everybody joined, and they will come house to house. And because of that, after some time, the plague got cured. And everybody knew it is because of only the Kirtana this happened. Because of the Sankirtan, only this happened. It was very clear. So similarly, in the Kali Yuga, the people generally say, हमको खेती नहीं करना है. क्यों? क्योंकि उनको ज़्यादा इसमें yield आता नहीं. Earlier, whatever yield was there, it was at least almost 20 to 30 times bigger than current yield. So people put money, that money also is not returned by the crops. So therefore, most of the people don't want to do farming. So same thing, everything will deteriorate except one thing. Kale dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahan gana. Kirtanat eva Krishna se mukta sangha param. Sankirtan. So first duty is to introduce the Sankirtan. Then other dharma will come. If you remove Sankirtan, all will vanish. That's what it is now. Prabhupada is giving the problems of the Kali Yuga. Next paragraph. Other devotee can read.
The great sage Vyasdev could see this by his transcendental vision. As an astrologer can see the future fate of a man, or an astronomer can foretell the solar and lunar eclipses, those liberated souls who can see through the scriptures can foretell the future of all mankind. They can see this due to their sharp vision of spiritual attainment.
So one can see the future also through the scripture. Correct? If you read Bhagavatam, you read different books, you can easily understand what will happen in the next life. Even who are we? We can tell ourselves what was our body in the previous life. One can easily understand if you read the 5th canto. If you read the 5th canto, it is clearly mentioned in the 5th canto what was our consciousness or what we were in a body in the previous life. It depends on what kind of consciousness you are carrying right now. It is possible to understand. Our individual self can understand what was my consciousness. So therefore, scripture is our eye. What is our eye? Scripture. Shastra Chakshu. Shastra Chakshu. Very important. Okay, next paragraph. Some devotee can read.
And all such transcendentalists who are naturally devotees of the Lord are always eager to render welfare service to the people in general. They are the real friends of the people in general, not the so-called public leaders who are unable to see what is going to happen 5 minutes ahead. In this age, the people in general, as well as their so-called leaders, are all unlucky fellows, faithless in spiritual knowledge and influenced by the age of Kali. They are always disturbed by various diseases. For example, in the present age, there are so many TB patients and TB hospitals. But formerly this was not so because the time was not so unfavorable. The unfortunate men of this age are always reluctant to give a reception to the transcendentalists who are representative of Srila Vyasdev and selfless workers, always busy in planning something which may help everyone in all statuses and orders of life. The greatest philanthropists are those transcendentalists who represent the mission of Vyasa, Narada, Madhava, Chaitanya, Rupa, Saraswati, etc. They are all one and the same. The personalities may be different, but the aim of the mission is one and the same. namely to deliver the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead.
Prabhupada says the leader is not that he is only behind the vote bank. Leader has to see what will happen to the dependents. He has to plan, and that was the duty of the king. Therefore, king was considered the representative of God. And also Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga, people have diseases, faithlessness. They really don't want to welcome the spiritual person. Today that Mataji was telling that Prabhupada's father was every day used to bring at least 4 to 5 sadhus in house for prasad. His mother said, we'll send him to the London. Prabhupada's father said, no. I want him to be the devotee of Radharani. I don't want to send him to London so that he will become the mlecha. He will become the meat eater. So Prabhupada was very grateful to his father. Therefore, he dedicated his Krishna book to his father. Morning. He was a great inspiration. He will bring so many sadhus and beg them that please bless my son to become the devotee of Radharani. So that is the leader. But now people don't have time. Prabhupada is talking about himself. He is a representative of all this sampradaya. And people are stopping that क्यों आए हो? तो Prabhupada वही नाराजगी इसमें mention कर रहे कि people are not welcoming the representative of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They are not welcome. So this is for Grihastha Ashram, it is very important. Not for Grihastha, for everybody. But one has to always try to associate with the advanced devotee. Try to, as much as possible, one should try. Otherwise, the spiritual life will become stagnant. Spiritual life will become only key in the spiritual life. If you see, right now we are not on a platform where we can take the truth from the scripture. We generally get inspiration. Spiritual life is all about what? Inspiration. Because the mind has become stagnant by the force of the Rajoguna, Tamoguna. It cannot come out. Immediately, मराठीमध्ये म्हणतात की कळते पण वळत नाही. We understand, till we can't come out. For that we need the force, external force. And when somebody get that force, he will come out. That's a wonderful purport. इसमें किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? नहीं तो हम आगे जाते. So what he did when he saw all those things, anomalies of the Kali Yuga, out of compassion, what he did is mentioned in the next verse. Chaturhotram karma shodham Janam Viksha Vaidikam Yadadhatnya Santatye Vedamekam Chaturvidham. Some devotees can read the translation.
Hare Krishna.
Huh.
He saw that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas were means by which the people's occupations could be purified. And to simplify the process, he divided the one Veda into 4 in order to expand them among men.
But
Formerly, there was only the Veda of the name Yajur, and the 4 divisions of sacrifices were there specially mentioned. But to make them more easily performable, the Veda was divided into 4 divisions of sacrifice, just to purify the occupational service of the 4 orders. Above the 4 Vedas, namely Rigveda, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, there are the Puranas, the Mahabharata, Samhita, etc., which are known as the 5th Veda. Sri Vyasadeva and his many disciples were all historical personalities, and they were very kind and sympathetic toward the fallen souls of this age of Kali. As such, the Puranas and Mahabharata were made from related historical facts which explained in the teaching of the 4 Vedas. There is no point in doubting the authority of the Puranas and Mahabharata as parts and parcels of the Vedas. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the Puranas and Mahabharata, generally known as histories, are mentioned as the fifth Veda. According to Sri Jiva Goswami, that is the way of asserting the respective values of the revealed scriptures. Hare Krishna.
So what Vyasdev did? Veda generally, if you see what is the Vedic study, these children, they learn the Samhitas in the Gurukul. Vedas have 4 parts: Samhita, Brahmanaka, Aranyaka, Upanishada. So the children, what they do, the Gurukul, they will by heart all the Samhita. They are mantra. And after that, when they get married, they have to practice that Samhita. What they have learned in the Vedic study. And when they become Vanapasta, they realize, what I was doing karma kanda. Then they take Vanapasta. And finally they take Sannyas Upanishad. So to make this thing nice happen, Vyasdev, he divided the different Vedas for purifying the occupational service of the 4 orders. What 4 order? Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanapasta, Sannyas. For example, Taittiriya Upanishad, it talks about Brahmacharya ashram, Gurukula. Lot of studies about Gurukula. What are the qualities of the Guru, qualities of Shishya, what should be the discussion. Nicely mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhruguvalli, Shikshavalli. So like that. All the Upanishads are there coming from Veda only. That is a part of Upanishad, last part, which is for the sannyasi. Okay. And Mahabharata, Purana, they are considered as a 5th Veda. That is because those who are Vijabandhu, means born in a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya family, but are not qualified. For them, Mahabharata is there. But that doesn't mean that Mahabharata is less. It is also equivalent to the Vedas. But it is mentioned in a very simple language. There are no hard, fast and rule for reading Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita. But Vedic mantra cannot be recited by anybody. Immediately bad effects will come. If you are not in highly sattva guna. In future, Prabhupada says that those on highly sattva guna can read Vedas or recite the Veda. So now here Chatur Hotra means in every yajna there are 4 people. Hota, Advairi, like that is called as a Chatur Hotra. 4 people are. Hotaram, ऐसा एक श्लोक आता है. Exactly आपको बताता हूँ मैं. 4 हाँ. होता, अद्वर्यु, उद्गाता और ब्रह्मा, ऐसे 4 ऋत्विज होते हैं जो उस यज्ञ को करते हैं, इसलिए उसको बोला चातुर होता. चातुर. नाउ इसके बाद व्यासदेव जो 4 वेद बनाए, he distributed to different disciples, and every disciple they wrote again different added mantras. Shishya prashishya, Shishya prashishya. Now, for example, Vedic mantras are revealed to the personality. It is not that Vedic mantra means it is written. No. For example, who knows that Gayatri mantra was discovered by whom? Who discovered Gayatri mantra? Who was revealed Gayatri mantra? To whom Gayatri mantra was revealed? Can anybody tell? The famous Gayatri mantra.
Hare Krishna, only by Brahmanas.
No. Which Brahmana it was revealed first? Which Rishi it was revealed first? Huh?
Vishwamitra.
In Gayatri mantra it is mentioned. Vishwamitra Rishi Savita Deva Om Gayatri Om Gayatri Avahayami Savitri Avahayami Gayatri Om. ऐसा पूरा एक मंत्र है. पूरा गायत्री मंत्र बोलने के पहले आधा घंटा मंत्र बोलना पड़ता है. Very complicated mantra is there. because not everybody can recite Gayatri. So every Rishi is given this mantra. Mantras are revealed. For example, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also revealed by the spiritual master. It is not that आपकी कान में वो बोलने वाले. मंत्र वो आपके हृदय में रिवील करते. मंत्र हमें पता है हरे कृष्ण मंत्र, लेकिन उसका जो रियल पोटेंसी है स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर आपके हृदय में उसका प्रकाश करते. दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो. By education, by explaining, by training. Clear? So next loga. Rogyajosama tarvakya. नहीं, हाँ correct. Rogyajosama tarvakya. Vedaschattvara udbhuta. Itihasa puranam cha. Panchamo Veda Uchyate.
पंचम वेद उच्यते.
बैकग्राउंड में किसका नॉइज आ रहा है? ठीक है, इसका ट्रांसलेशन पढ़िए.
The four divisions of the original source of knowledge, the Vedas, were made separately. But the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the fifth Veda.
Micro SD card mode.
Now we'll next loka. Tatra Veda Garbha. Amago Jaimini Kavihi. Vayana Deveko. Ato Yajusha Sutta.
After the Vedas were divided into four divisions, Kaila Rishi became the professor of Rig Veda, Jaimini the professor of Samveda, and Vaishampayan alone became glorified by Yajurveda. The different Vedas were entrusted to different learned scholars for development in various ways.
Atharvangirasana Asit. Mantu Daruno Munihi. Ityasa Purananam. Mero Maharshanaha.
Translation. The Sumantu Muni Angira, who was very devotedly engaged, was entrusted with the Atharva Ved, and my father, Roma Harshan, was entrusted with the Puranas and historical records. Purport. In the Shruti mantras also, it stated that Angira Muni, who strictly followed the rigid principles of Atharva Ved, was the leader of followers of Atharva Ved.
Vayeta Rishyo Vedam. Samsam Yasanne Kada. Prasishte Tasishte. Kino Bhavan.
Translation. Translation. All these learned scholars, in their turn, rendered their entrusted Vedas unto their many disciples, grand disciples, and great-grand disciples, and thus the respective branches of the followers of the Vedas came into being. Shall I read the purport of the story?
Yes.
Purport. The original source of knowledge is the Vedas. There are no branches of knowledge, either mundane or transcendental, which do not belong to the original text of Vedas. They have simply been developed into different branches. They were originally rendered by great, respectable, and learned professors. In other words, The Vedic knowledge, broken into different branches by different disciplic succession, has been distributed all over the world. No one, therefore, can claim independent knowledge beyond the Vedas.
Okay, so Prabhupada uses the word professor. He is not using the word rishi, because this translation is for all the people. Right? And Prabhupada says, whatever the knowledge is there, it has to be in the Veda. It cannot be beyond Veda. And this was distributed to all over the word actually. Shishya, Prashishya. Simple Purusha Sukta can be sung in so many ways. Not one way, so many ways. Because even in a small, suppose Rigveda, there can be 100 shaka. In Yajurveda also, there are 100 shaka. Only 2 shakas are remaining in Yajurveda. That is also Shukla Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. Again, Shukla Yajurveda, Anva Shaka, Madhyantini Shaka. So many, thousands, and because every state we have different methods of pronunciation. And they add different slokas also, which are revealed to them by their own tapasya. First, they have to study under their guru, and they will realize it. Because all these mantras are the personality. What? Personality. And they will be revealed. So that's how different branches happen. So now we will go ahead. Sa eva veda durmedhan.
Seva Veda Durmedha.
Seva veda durmedhe.
Seva Veda Durmedhe.
Purusha Yatha. Chakara Bhagavan.
Evam Chakara Bhagavan.
Kripana Vastalaha.
Vyasa Kripana Vastalaha.
Translation and interpretation.
Thus the great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by the less intellectual men. What? The Veda is one, and the reason for its division in many parts are explained herewith. The seed of all knowledge, or the Veda, is not the subject matter which can easily be understood by any ordinary man. There is a stricture that no one should try to learn no one should try to learn the Vedas who is not qualified Brahmana. The stricture has been wrongly interpreted in so many ways. A class of men who claim Brahmanical qualification simply by their birthright in the family of Brahmana claim that the study of Vedas is a monopoly of the Brahmanas caste only. Another section of the people take this as an incident to the member of other castes who do not happen to take the birth in a Brahmana family, but both of them are misguided. The Vedas are subjects which had to be explained even to the Brahmaji by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the subject matter is understood by the person who with exceptional qualities of goodness. Person who are in the modes of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of Vedas. The ultimate goal of the Vedic knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This personality is very rare, understood by those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance. In the Satya Yuga, everyone was situated in the mode of goodness. Gradually, the mode of goodness declined during the Treta and Dwapara Yugas, and the general masses of the people became corrupt. In the present age, the mode of goodness is almost nil, and so And so for the general masses of people, the kind-hearted, powerful sage Srila Vyasadeva divided the Veda in various ways so that they may be practically followed by the less intelligent person in the mode of passion and ignorance. That is explained in the next sloka as follows.
So, Vedas cannot be understood what is mentioned here not only by birth, but people who are in holy mode of goodness, exceptional qualities of goodness. Even Lord Brahma first, he read the Vedas, he said God is impersonal. God is impersonal. Again, second time he heard, he said he has Paramatma. And again when he heard, he understood that Lord is the person, Bhagavan. So Lord Brahma has to hear the Vedas first. Prabhupada says both classes. Some people say, "Well, Brahman ko kyun padhana? Humko kyun nahi padhana?" They are also useless. And those say, "No, only because our child is born in a Brahmana, he can only study." There are some Gurukula, they don't accept any other child. So Prabhupada says both are wrong. You accept according to the qualities, real quality of the person. Real quality. Not based on the birth, but Janma Karma by his property. What is his guna? Guna karma, vibhaga. So how Prabhupada gives very proper. In the Satyayuga, everyone was in situated in the mode of goodness. Gradually the mode of goodness declined during the Treta and Dwapar. And the general mass of people became corrupt. And at the present, Prabhupada said the goodness is almost nil. Goodness is almost nil. Just one devotee told me, from one city, one family, they went to their village. They have huge property. Very big people, devotees actually. And they wanted to do some project there. But husband clearly said that I cannot live in the village. I am in passion. Nice place. Because this is in goodness. They have to come back. We have to also check with ourselves what are our qualities. Prabhu says, Sada rajas bhava kamalobhadayasti. Ket eter anavidam sipam sattva prasidhati. As long as you are not sattva guna, you can't go to Shuddha Sattva. Sipam sattva prasidhati. When the rajas tamas there go away, we will be situated in sattva guna. And after that, the journey generally starts. So one has to understand. Prabhupada says there is no goodness in the Kali Yuga. Goodness is almost nil. Means by default there is a tamagun and rajagun. To maintain the goodness, we have to struggle a lot. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati ruttama shloke bhakti bhavati nashta. Any question or will go ahead? Sri Shudradvija Bandhuna
Sri Shudradvija Bandhuna
Aina Suti Gochara
Kaina Gochara
Nitreyati Murana
Karma Sriyati Murana
Evam Bhavediha
Evam Bhavediha
Iti Bharatamakyanam
Krupaya Munina Krutam
Kutam.
Translation.
Jayaprakash Prabhu, can you read?
Out of compassion, the great sage thought it wise that this would enable men to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus, he compiled the great historical narration called the Mahabharata for women, laborers, and the friends of the twice born.
अभी purport पे purport जाते हैं हम पहला करेगा सब बहुत important कार्यक्रम है, जिसको I want to read everything. Okay. What do you know?
Purport. The friends of the twice born families are those who are born in the families of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, or the spiritually cultured families, but who themselves are not equal to their forefathers. Such descendants are not recognized as such for want of purificatory achievements. The purificatory activities being even before the birth of a child and the seed giving reformatory process is called Garbhadhana Samskara. One who has not undergone such Garbhadhana Samskara or spiritual family planning is not accepted as being of an actual twice born family. The Garbhadhana Samskara is followed by other purificatory processes, out of which the sacred thread ceremony is one. This is performed at the time of spiritual initiation. After this, particularly samskara, one is rightly called twice born. One birth is calculated during the seed giving samskar, and the second birth is calculated at the time of spiritual initiation. One who has been able to undergo such important samskara can be called a bona fide twice born. If the father, yes,
Now, देखिए प्रभुपाद बहुत क्लियरली बता, हमें किसी को भी कुछ इम्पोज नहीं करना. One may be born in any family, but what is requirement है? Garbhadhana Samskar. Then second is Upanayana Samskar. Then only is called as what? Vision. Prabhupada said that the third generation devotee, they will fly. They will fly in the mantra. That will be their power. But third generation means what generation? Starting with first Garbhadhan. That is the third generation. He said that my ISKCON devotees, they will fly in the sky by the power of Sanskrit. That is possible, purity. Now also, Vedanta, it is not that you can't stand Vedic mantra. The result will not. Result can come. Purity. Vedanta is technical. The technique has to be very pure. So that is Prabhupada wanted. All 16 samskara, the 16 Shodash samskara should be performed. Not only one samskara, that is marriage. That is also now people don't want to do. What kind of judgments are being passed in the Supreme Court? Because all leftist people are sitting. Leftist people, useless people. If you hear their verdict, भारत का अमेरिका बनने कुछ समझ नहीं मिलता. Same Varna Shankara, Varna Shankara. And what you can expect from such people? No, you can't expect. इसलिए हमारे भक्तों को जज बनना चाहिए और ये सब लोगों को भगा देना चाहिए. जितने भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज है, इन लोगों का लॉबी अपने जमीन लोगों को ही डाल देते, दूसरे को देते ही नहीं हो. सालों से वही कर रहे हैं. और ये पूरे लेफ्टिस्ट लोग हैं, टोटली एथियस्ट लोग. बस ईट ड्रिंक मैरी, ये उनका पॉलिसी. उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. कुछ दिनों पहले महाराष्ट्र के सबसे बड़े लीडर है, एक पार्टी के अध्यक्ष है, उनकी बेटी थी. उनके सिटी में हम मैराथन करने के लिए, हम परमिशन देने के लिए गए थे. उसने पूछा कि आपका फिलोसॉफी क्या है, बुक में क्या. हमने बोला नो मेडिटेटिंग इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या है. जो हाउ कैन यू लिव विदाउट दैट. अरे इंडियन लेडी, ये तो बोले कि मैं तो हमेशा वीकेंड को खाती हूँ और वो खुद दारू पी के सिटी में वहां पे सोती रहती है. उसका कोई भी फोटो में नहीं आ सकता. पिता सबसे बड़ा आदमी, पूरे महाराष्ट्र का लीडर है वो. भारत को खरीद सकता उतना पैसा उसके पास. ऐसे लोग अभी भी भारत में. उसके गांव ने उसने कभी आज तक मंदिर बांधा नहीं और रस्ते के नाम क्या दिए, डॉल्फिन, फिश, ऐसे नाम थे. भगवान का तो क्या कुछ भारत के भी नाम नहीं, सब फॉरेन अमेरिकन नाम. ये सब क्यों हो जाता है? ये लोग अमेरिका में स्टडी करने जाते हैं ना, उनको भारत के बारे में नॉलेज है, ना माता पिता का प्रेम है, ना गाय का, कुछ नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं है उनको. ये इतना डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन हो रहा है. एजुकेशन का परिणाम है. एजुकेशन नाम के लिए बात की और कुछ. तो हमें एटलीस्ट मैंने मेरे स्टूडेंट का तो कंपल्सरी उनको बोल के रखा है कि सब संस्कार करने से आप कंपल्सरी जस्ट डोंट गेट मैरिड, डू दिस ऑल, ठीक है।
The voice is not very clear. Voice is not, I mean, for me.
बाकी लोगों को नहीं है। हरि बोल।
ब्रो अभी आखिरी में थोड़ा ब्रेक हो रहा था, बाकी ठीक था।
Yes, Prabhuji.
आवाज क्लियर है?
No, our voice is not clear, Prabhuji.
अभी क्लियर है क्या?
अभी बेहतर है।
प्रभुजी थोड़ा सा मतलब वॉल्यूम लो आ रहा था और थोड़ा सा ब्रेक नहीं हो रहा था, बट थोड़ा क्लैरिटी नहीं था।
ठीक है, अभी आना चाहिए। मैंने स्पीकर निकाल दिया।
अभी परफेक्ट आया।
Yes.
Next paragraph, can you read, please, somebody?
Yeah, Prabhu. If the father and the mother do not undertake the process of spiritual family planning and simply beget children out of passion only, their children are called Dvijabandhus. These Dvijabandhus are certainly not as intelligent as the children of the regular twice-born families. The Dvijabandhus are classified with the Shudras and the woman class, who are by nature less intelligent. The Shudras and the woman class do not have to undergo any samskar, save and expect the ceremony of marriage. The less intelligent.
1 minute. So the discussion what here, the twice born doesn't mean Brahmin, ना? Twice born मतलब ये तीनों क्लास होता है। ये हमेशा हमें जानना चाहिए। ये तीनों क्लास के लोग कभी भी मांसाहार, परस्त्री, वैश्यागमन कभी भी नहीं करते, कभी भी नहीं करते। तीनों के अंदर भी वो थ्रेड पहनते हैं। तो अभी तो ये नष्ट हो रहा है ना, लोगों को पता ही नहीं है। ब्राह्मण लोगों को पता नहीं तो बाकी के तो दूर ही है। नॉनवेज खाना तो अभी तो फैशन हो गया है, नॉनवेज खाते हैं ना, उसमें क्या है। बट ये तीनों को भी नहीं खाना चाहिए नॉनवेज, कभी भी नहीं। हाईली रिस्पेक्टेबल फैमिली होते हैं तीनों, उन तीनों को भी वेदों का नॉलेज होता है। उनके घर भी भगवान विग्रह होते हैं, शालिग्राम होता है, डेली वर्शिप होता है, भगवान को भोग लगता है। ये इस्कॉन का काम है। इस्कॉन के जितने डिवोटी मींस वी आर प्रोड्यूसिंग द ब्राह्मणास, हाईली इंटेलिजेंट पीपल। और माता जी को कभी इसमें हर्ट नहीं होना चाहिए प्रभुपाद के स्टेटमेंट से। यहाँ जो प्रभुपाद ऐसा बोलते हैं कि लेस इंटेलिजेंट मींस दे नीड इमोशनल सपोर्ट। उनका इमोशन ओवर पावर करता है उनकी बुद्धि को। इसीलिए जब उनके साथ कोई साथी होता है तो उनको मदद करते हैं, नहीं ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, है ना, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए। इसलिए पति पत्नी एक यूनिट काम करता है। पति का भी एक, जब वो इमोशनल हो जाता है तो उसका ब्रेन काम नहीं करता तो उसको सपोर्ट चाहिए। ये यूनिट काम करता है। अभी जो ब्रह्मचारी होता है वो उनके लिए कौन है? उनके लिए गुरु होता है, क्योंकि ब्रह्मचारी गुरुकुले वसंतांतम गुरु और हितम। ब्रह्मचारी मीन्स नॉट क्या अकेला रह रहा है घर में, वो ब्रह्मचारी नहीं हो सकता। He has to live with guru and other devotees. So he also needs support. Everybody need a support. ठीक है? So go ahead. Next paragraph.
Yes, Prabhu. The less intelligent classes of men, namely women, Shudras, and unqualified sons of the higher caste, are devoid of necessary qualifications to understand the purpose of the transcendental Vedas. For them, the Mahabharata was prepared. The purpose of Mahabharata is to administer the purpose of Vedas, and therefore, within this Mahabharata, the summary Ved of Bhagavad Gita is placed. The less intelligent are more interested in stories than in philosophy, and therefore, the philosophy of the Vedas in the form of the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord Sri Krishna. Vyasadeva and Lord Krishna are both on the transcendental plane, and therefore they collaborated in doing good to the fallen souls of this age. The Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. It is the first book of spiritual values. As the Upanishads are, the Vedanta philosophy is the subject matter for study by the spiritual graduates. Only the postgraduate spiritual student can enter into the spiritual or devotional service of the Lord. It is a great science, and the great professor is the Lord himself in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. and persons who are empowered by him can initiate others in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
So now here, ऐसा नहीं कि भाई somebody cannot read Bhagavad Veda means he is qualified. And no, whatever is given in the Veda is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And not only what is, it is beyond Srimad Vedas. And Srimad Bhagavatam, anybody can read. There is no qualification required from the Srimad Bhagavatam because it is a transcendental book. Because one Mataji, she hired a case against ISKCON. Why Prabhupada is saying that the woman have less brain? So one should understand that it is not by Prabhupada is humiliating somebody. No. It is not required. What to speak of the woman? We cannot understand Vedas nowadays. Best is to study Srimad Bhagavatam and go back to Godhead. That is the purpose. But what are the good qualities of such people? Prabhupada said that women, they generally take shelter of Krishna very easily than the man. Then why? Because that their bhav is not there. Purusha bhav. So that's what we want. We want that we are Prakriti. Krishna is the Purusha. That's what we want. So that is also very good advantage. ऐसा नहीं कि किसी को वेदांत में नॉलेज है मतलब भगवान का भक्त बन सकता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Ultimately, spiritual life में emotion ही है. The last word in the spiritual life is emotion for Krishna. Emotion for Krishna. And the Vaishnavas. Okay. इसमें किसी को कोई प्रश्न है तो हम आगे जाएंगे. और यहाँ पे लिखा है कि स्टोरीज, ये सबको स्टोरी अच्छी लगती है. जैसा फिलोसफी रखेंगे तो सब सो जाएंगे. हमें सबको, क्योंकि स्टोरी में भगवान, और भगवान का स्टोरी तो दिव्य है. वो उपनिषदों के संजल्प आसीत पुरस्त्रिया. When Lord Krishna was returning from Hastinapur, मुझे श्लोक याद नहीं रहा. अन्योन्य आसित संजल्प. The ladies, they are glorifying Krishna, and it is mentioned that it is more than the Vedic hymns. Their prajalpa about Krishna is glorified beyond and too much superior to the Shruti. ऐसा वहां पे लिखा है. और सेम द्वारका की स्त्रियों ने भी भगवान के बारे में बोला, उसको भी भगवान को सबसे अच्छा लग रहा है. Neither Shruti mantra, Lord loves those talk of the ladies about him. It is mentioned in the first canto. We will see the next chapters. Okay. Evam pravrutasya sada.
Evam pravrutasya sada.
Utanam shreyasi dvijaha.
Utanam
श्रेयसी द्विजः
Sarvatmakenapi yada.
Sarvatmakenapi yada.
Atushad Tridiyam tataha. Purport and translation and purport.
Translate. For twice born Brahmanas, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Purport. Sri Vasudeva was not satisfied with himself, although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-round welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied.
Now the actual chapter is starting. Although after everything he was not happy. Nati prasid dhruddaya.
Nati prasid dhruddaya.
Sarasvatya tate suchaho. Vitarkayan viktastha. Dam chovacha dharmave. Translation and purport.
Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself. Purport: the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter.
Wonderful. What is mentioned in the purport? Yat masu prasidati. One can do so much drama, but whether you are happy or not, only one knows. Oneself only knows. I know that whether I am happy or not, but I am making so much drama. And the satisfaction cannot be searched within the matter. कितना घर है, कितना जॉब है, कितना ये है, ये हमें satisfaction को दे नहीं सकता. It has to be beyond matter. और व्यासदेव शिष्य प्रशिष्य उनके इतने शिष्य है, लेकिन फिर भी dissatisfaction can come at any time. Dissatisfaction doesn't come that अभी मैं आने वाला हूँ. नहीं, किसी भी लेवल में, किसी भी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस में कभी भी आदमी कोई आ सकता है, and he may feel loneliness. Okay, now we'll first complete this and then we'll discuss at length. Okay. Dhrita vratena hi maya.
Drutta vratena hi maya.
Chandansi guravo gnayah.
Chandansi guravo
Manita nirgalikena.
Manita nirgalikena.
Hitam chanushasana.
Gritam chanushasana.
Bharatavyapadeshena.
Bharatavyapadeshena.
Yamna yartascha pradarshitah.
Yamnaya Prashitya Pradarshitah.
Dashyate yatra dharmadi.
Drishyate yatmadi
Tishudradir Tishudradirapyuta.
Translation. I have under strict disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata, by which even woman, Shudra, and other can see the path of religion. Purport. No one can understand the import of Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplic succession. The Vedas, spiritual master, and sacrificial fire must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these intricacies of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of woman class, the labor class, and unqualified members of Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya families. In this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas.
So Prabhupada said Mahabharata is because Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Mahabharata. And the sages of Naimisharya said that you don't tell us that so many scriptures are there. Tell us the essence of all the scripture. हमको सब story मत सुनाओ. Tell the essence because we don't have time. And who is telling this? The great sages at Naimisharya. They are telling that हमको ये सब मत बताओ. Essence of all the scriptures. You don't have time. That is mentioned by the sages. What to speak of us? Tatapi batame tejo.
Tathapi batame yo.
Yatma chaivatmana vibhu.
Yatma chaivatmana vibhu.
Asampannam iva bhati. Brahma varchasya saptama.
Translation. I am fully incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. Purport. Undoubtedly, Srila Vyasadeva was complete of Vedic achievements. Purification of the living being in matter is made possible by the prescribed activities in the Vedas. But the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendentally normal stage. Srila Vyasadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction.
Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janma Labha Param Punsa Ante Narayana Smriti. अंत में नारायण की स्मृति आपको हो रही है. आप स्वधर्म कीजिए, सांख्य योग कीजिए, स्वधर्म कीजिए, जो करना है कीजिए, अन्यथा श्रम एव ही केवलम, नोत्पाद येग यतिरतिम, श्रम एव ही केवलम। तो Vaibhava has written so much. So हमारे जीवन में भी हमको थोड़ा झांक के देखना चाहिए। This is called as a personal application question, है ना? Personal application की am I happy at the end of the day कि मैं आज खुश हूँ, मैंने कुछ तो किया। Yeah, at the end of the life, at the end of 1 month, at the end of 1 year, at the end of 20 years, whether I am happy. So that's what Vasudev. Vasudev is such a old. Vishwanath Chakravarti says that he is the incarnation of Krishna, and therefore he cannot be despondent. But it is by the Yoga Maya potency he became despondent because they wanted to bring out Srimad Bhagavatam. And also the lesson that any person at any ladder of the success of the life, he can become like this. Vyasadeva was at the tip of the ladder of the success. And outside also, world also, people are very rich, very beautiful, very knowledgeable. But if there is no connection to the Krishna, they will ultimately become empty, like Vyasadeva. So that's what who Vyasadeva want to show to the entire world. अभी उसका कारण उनको समझ में आता कि कारण क्या है। नेक्स्ट श्लोक उसका कारण है किम वा भागवता धर्मा न प्रायेण निरूपितः परमहंसानां अच्युत प्रियः। ट्रांसलेशन एंड पर्पट बहुत सुंदर है।
Translation: This may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord. Purport: The dissatisfaction which was being felt by Sri Vaibhava is expressed here in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being in the devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living being can become fully satisfied. This defect was felt by him when Narada Muni, his spiritual master, reached him. It is described as follows.
So see, the Vyasadeva actually got the clue. Because whenever you meditate and pray to Lord, you will come to know why I am not happy. You will finally come to know. If you are sincere and you sincerely pray, Krishna will reveal you. Mistake किया, क्या गड़बड़ किया, ऐसा करना नहीं चाहिए। और वैद्य को भी समझ गया कि जब तक हमारे जो सुपीरियर हैं, महान भक्त वैष्णव है, वो जब तक हमसे खुश नहीं होते, आप कुछ भी करो, उसका कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है। उसका कुछ वैल्यू यहीं पे बताया कि मैंने भगवान के महान भक्तों को खुश नहीं किया। क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने एग्जैक्टली भगवान की शुद्ध भक्ति के बारे में कहीं भी निरूपण किया नहीं है। मैंने थोड़ा कर्म कांड डाल दिया, ज्ञान कांड डाल दिया, लेकिन शुद्ध भक्ति का एक भी ग्रंथ नहीं। अभी जो भागवतम दिख रहा है आपको, वैसा नहीं था वो। पहले भी उन्होंने भागवतम लिखा था, लेकिन उसमें कर्मकांड डाल दिया था। फिर बाद में वापस उन्होंने भागवतम को एडिट किया, इसलिए ही वॉज फीलिंग एम्प्टीनेस, डिफेक्ट, ही अंडरस्टूड। और जब कोई व्यक्ति बहुत सिंसियरली भगवान की प्रार्थना करता है तो मदद आ जाती। उसी तरह से उसको मदद आ गई किसकी? नारद मुनि। भगवान ने उनको भेज दिया। Whenever we are in difficult, you pray to Lord. See, Lord will help you. Yesham satato yuktanam bhajatam pratipadokam dadami buddhi yogam yena mam upayanti. He may help you by coming in the dream or to some devotee or some arranging in such a situation in our life that we are helpless and we take shelter of Lord Krishna. Here Vaidya has become helpless and he has to remember his Guru. Tassevam kilam atmanam मन्यमानस्य खिद्यतः कृष्णस्य नारदोऽभ्यागात् उदाहृतम्।
As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas on the banks of Saraswati, just as Vyasdev was regretting his defects. The purport by Srila Prabhupada. The vacuum filled by Vyasdeva was not due to his lack of knowledge, but Bhagavad Dharma is purely devotional service of the Lord, to which the monist has no access. Monist is not counted amongst the Paramahamsas, the most perfect of the renounced order of life. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations of the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Although Vyasdeva was an embodied divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because in none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. The inspiration was infused by Sri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasdev, and thus he filled the vacuum as explained above. It is definitely expressed here with that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void. But in the transcendental service of the Lord, everything is tangible without any separate attempt at fruitive work or empiric philosophical speculation.
Itna sundar purport hai. What an important point. That dissatisfaction is not because of lack of knowledge. It is not because of the knowledge is there. Vyasdev is a compiler of all Vedic literature. Is any person like him? No. The dissatisfaction happens because of the devotional service. Unless one dedicates his life for glorifying the Lord, he will be always unsatisfied, dissatisfied. Sometimes लोगों को लगता है मैं ये कमेंट्री पढ़ूंगा, वो कमेंट्री पढ़ूंगा, यहाँ से नॉलेज लूंगा, ये कंप्यूटर में ये नॉलेज, अरे क्या वो खुद भी डिससेटिस्फाइड और जिनको लेक्चर दे रहे हैं वो भी डिससेटिस्फाइड. भागवतम देने का ये तरीका नहीं है. हमने इसके पहले डिस्कस किया था that one has to study Srimad Bhagavatam at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, very attentively serve him, and after that you digest that matter and then present it in an interesting manner. So for that you don't need so many books. Yes, one may read the Acharya commentary, but for purpose? To increase his devotion, to increase his realization. But realization is must. Otherwise, I see sometimes people think, अरे इसका भक्ति शास्त्री डिग्री हो गया, अरे इसका भक्ति वैभव डिग्री हो गया, इसलिए ये, अरे बट भक्ति शास्त्री डिग्री लेने से क्या फायदा पड़ने वाला है? मैं जहाँ पे आया हूँ वहां पे लोगों को लगता है भाई भक्ति शास्त्री डिग्री मतलब बहुत बड़ा, ऐसा नहीं है. भक्ति शास्त्री, भक्ति वैभव या 10 बार भागवतम पढ़ा नहीं है, आपको इसको रियलाइज करना पड़ेगा. यहाँ पे क्यों लिखा है? प्रेयर करना पड़ेगा. हमें जो क्लास देना है, जो ये करना है, वो दिखाने के लिए नहीं है. हमारा खुद का भक्ति उससे बढ़े, हमारा शास्त्र का एप्रिसिएशन बढ़े, शास्त्र के ऊपर का श्रद्धा बढ़े, और जो लोग भी हमारे साथ में हैं उनके हृदय में भी ये भगवान की शुद्ध भक्ति का सीड जाए. The seed of the pure devotional service should grow, and that's what is mentioned here by Vyasadeva, and Prabhupada is adding the same. Tam avidnyaya sahasa pratyutpayagatam munihi jayamasa vidivan Naradam Surapujitam. Translation and purpose.
Yeah. Translation. At the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Srila Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahmaji, the creator. Purport. Vidhi means Brahma, the first created living being. He is the original student as well as professor of the Vedas. He learned it from Sri Krishna and taught Narada first. So Narada is the second acharya in the line of spiritual disciplic succession. He is the representative of Brahma, and therefore he is respected exactly like Brahma, the father of all Vidhis, regulations. Similarly, all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally respected as representatives of the original spiritual master.
So here the etiquette is how he received the Narada. Vidivas means exactly like he received Brahmaji. Because Narada is his disciple as well as Manasa Putra. Brahmaji gave knowledge to Narada Muni. Narada Muni travels all over the world. So therefore, he is respected exactly at the level of Lord Brahma. Therefore, Prabhupada sometimes says Lord Narada. Great people are also called as a Lord because they always carry the Lord in their heart. तो उनका कैसे सम्मान किया, कैसे पूजा किया, अर्चना किया, इतने खुद बड़े होने के बाद भी उन्होंने खुद अपने गुरु का इतना सम्मान किया. ये एटिकेट हमको जानना चाहिए. और नारद मुनि कहाँ से आ रहे थे? नारद मुनि ब्रह्मा जी के प्लेनेट से आ रहे थे. वहां के देवताओं ने उनका पूजा किया था और वो यहाँ पे आ रहे थे. ये नारद व्यासदेव को पता था. क्या उनको ये ठीक है? अभी हम 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लेंगे और ब्रेक के बाद विल स्टार्ट अ न्यू चैप्टर. तो किसी का कोई प्रश्न था क्या? क्या प्रश्न ब्रेक के बाद दूं?
Hare Krishna.
हाँ.
I want one question. Hare Krishna
हाँ.
Prabhuji, I want to clear one point. If we follow all rules and regulations of sadhana bhakti, including means attending Mangalarti daily, chanting 16 rounds, and knowing all shlokas by heart, still we offend towards the devotees. Maybe he may be senior or junior devotees, or whoever, and therefore he is not satisfied. If we are not satisfied, and is this not similar to the dissatisfaction of Vyasdev, who compiling all Vedas and not narrating about the Lord and his devotees? Is this similar to?
This is not similar actually, because this is inspired by Lord Krishna within. This satisfaction of the Vyasdev is not material, because he is the incarnation of Lord. And regarding offending the Vaishnava is a very different thing. Here Vyasdeva did not like hitting or blaspheming the Vaishnava or speaking bad about them. Correct. He has it and he immediately accepted. And therefore he was helped by Narada Muni. But Lord Krishna sent Narada Muni. Lord Krishna sent Narada Muni. Our dissatisfaction generally happens because of the mode of passion. We want some name and fame or something. Why? Otherwise we beg forgiveness. If we think that I have a mistake, I have done a mistake, you beg forgiveness. The Vaishnava will immediately forgive you. Anybody. If he doesn't forgive means he is not a Vaishnava. He will also have an impact of that. Somebody says, अभी आपने मेरा अपराध किया ना, आप अभी नरक में जाओ. आपका भक्ति डूब जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है.
कम ही चाहिए. हाँ.
क्या हो रहा है? If Vaishnava is asking for forgiveness, one should immediately forgive that person, thinking that I am not qualified because I also committed so many mistakes and I also need forgiveness. So Narad Vyas ka wo dissatisfaction spiritual level pe. Similarly, because Vishwanath Thakur says that Lord Baldev was also kept in Yoga Maya. He was not able to understand Brahma Vimohan Leela. Similarly, here Vyasdev also is covered by Yoga Maya, Krishna's Maya. Okay?
Thank you.
So break लेंगे अभी हम. हरे कृष्ण.